I got that holy swag. Woo, woo, yeah. I got that holy swag. Yeah, look, I got that holy swag. Whoa, I got that. Hey, reach for greatness, then right up on them and seat the haters. We get recognition, be at the peak of your pinnacle. Never believe you can't get where you wanna be to beat them fakers. There's a blessing God gave you, face it. Life ain't gotta rewind, but a better word for what you want. Don't be complacent. Get on the grind, go and get it while you're giving the time. It's all in the mind, you were your only enemy and nobody stopping your shine. You got it, just gotta keep trying, cause even the underrated find a way to get higher. They bring out the fire, that's sparking the light, that ignited it out, that was crossing the line. Facts.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to season 2 of Swag on Point TV. Guys, when I say I am excited about this next season, and I don't even just mean our show, but I just mean our next season to live, like this next season that God has given us to embrace our next and level up. And so let me start with my recap of season 1. Trying, okay? Season 1 was fun. I started filming the show in Milwaukee, in my hometown Milwaukee, and I was working with the wonderful Wanye Salone, who's, when I say, an amazing director. So make sure that you are following him as well if you're looking to do commercials or anything of that sort to advertise your business. He is the guy to link with, and he really helped push me and inspire me to keep going. But I was working with Wanye initially, and I was able to get a few episodes recorded while I was at home. And I just have to also shout out my family, my parents, my sister. Thank you guys, my God sisters and brothers. Thank you all for your continuous push and being there. So the names that you see rolled on the credits are people that have at some point in time assisted Swag on Point TV to get to where we are today. And so thank you. Like I said, thank you for that. But season 1, I started working with Wanye, and then I ended up coming back to Nashville. And Nashville, this is home for me. I've been here 3, maybe 4 years, something like that. But I've been here, and over time, I felt like I didn't really have anyone. I felt like I was still very alone in this big city. And thankfully, like, God was able to, I just know it was God. Like, my brother ended up moving to Nashville. And so when I say he's been a help like no other, my other brother Jordan, thank you. I just want to thank you guys. Like, my support system, sometimes you don't really understand what your support system means to you until you don't have anyone for real. Like, seriously. And so I'm just grateful that they never left me astray. They were always there. Anytime I, like, long nights, early mornings, I'm here to tell you it's a thing. And my family has just always been so supportive of that. So thank you to those that have helped along this journey. And to all those that were guests on season 1, you made that show. I'm so glad y'all had such a lit swag to be able to sit at the table with you all and do interviews with you guys and just be free. At first, I was all lights, camera, action about the show. I have to be honest. I'm like, I don't have a makeup artist. I don't have scripts written. I don't have lights. I don't even have a durable camera to do this. How in the world am I supposed to make a full production happen and I don't have these resources? Never doubt that, you know, your dream is too small or you can't make it or you can't do this, because I am here to tell you, you can do anything that's a God idea. I promise you it will flourish and come to pass as long as you stay faithful and grounded in His word and faithful to His work. If you've been watching, we've been promoting Love to Worship Radio. And Love to Worship Radio has provided me with the opportunity to air my show on their network. When I say mind blown, God blew my mind in this last season. Now on Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can also catch a recap of anything that we do on Swag on Point TV. You can catch it on Swag on Point Radio. It was a learning experience for sure, being able to do different research and just learning for myself. Calling my girl Ty, who is like TV guru, if you ask me, and being able to communicate with people that have already been here just to say, hey, listen, I don't know what to do. Never be afraid to ask for help. It's some great people out there in the world, guys. People that want to assist, that want to be a resource to us. And as I'll just be this transparent, as Black people, we don't like to ask for help. I don't know what it is about us. I don't know if we are just timid or afraid of the unknown or what, but we don't like to ask for help. We're too prideful sometimes. And sometimes God has to take us off that high horse just so we can be able to come back down and remember purpose and align everything that we're doing with our purpose in Him. To be able to inspire and encourage somebody else, to help somebody else, to be there for somebody else, and not even knowing it. I put out a lot of content over the last 6 months that I'm just like, I don't know if this was good or like, you know, but every single episode that I put out, somebody would text me, would call me, would message me, would DM me, just to say how great of a show that was. I needed that. Thank you. Y'all have no idea what that does to my heart and my mind. Oh my gosh. Mind blown once again. Thank you. Okay? Thank you for watching. And thank you for being an inspiration to me so that I can inspire somebody else. Because I'm here to tell you guys, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't even have done this anymore. But God said, no, I called you for a mission and you must complete the mission. You must complete the assignment. Swag tip number 3. Okay, God, come through with them today. Complete the mission. And understand when you are on a God-given assignment, it must go forth. Even when you don't want to. Even when you don't have the resources to make it happen. So for season 2, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what it is you want to hear about, what topics are on your heart, what kind of things you may need some inspiration with and encouragement with, and how we can help you be the best version of yourself and keep your swag lit. So now I want to go ahead and introduce you all to our guest for today. Her name is Sharnissa Washington. She's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I say this woman is a powerhouse. I mean, a powerhouse. Like, God knew exactly what He was doing when He created that woman. She is so inspirational, so encouraging. And believe it or not, the first interviewee that we've had that I didn't personally know or have a relationship with, which to me even more is like, girl, where you come from? The Lord sent her, y'all, I'm telling you, because now that's sis and she can't get rid of me. I already told her that. So guys, I want to introduce you, like I said, to Sharnissa Washington. She's an author, a preacher, and a woman striving for greatness and striving for excellence in God. So stay tuned and hear more about Sharnissa's story. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So Sharnissa, I want to ask you more about your life as a woman preacher. When did you start preaching, and what actually prompted you into going into ministry?
Oh, oh my gosh, it's such a great question. And it brings back so many amazing memories. So the church that I was saved in, I started teaching Bible study at 13 years old. I started teaching Bible study to children. And so I started having a love for the word. I feel like if anyone can teach to a child, you can preach to adults, because teaching to children allows you to really break the word down and make it applicable to that age group. Mm-hmm. So I'm 13 years old and I'm preaching, and I'm sitting in a church now I'm 16, and the Lord literally tells me, you are going to preach my word to all nations. I write it in the back of my Bible. The date is 1996. Okay. You are going to preach the word to all nations. What? I don't even know anything about nations. 2 years later, I go to my pastor and I say, God has called me to preach. he was like, I said, I know God has called me to be a preacher. Now I am, teaching the children, but I'm also exalting in church at times when we're singing. Like, I can feel this little preacher girl coming up out of me. I can feel this preacher coming up out of me. I'm reading for my pastor. Every time he's preaching, I'm taking notes. So I have become a lover of the word, and I love to communicate it with people. So at 18, I'm like, I'm called to preach. And he said, did God tell you to preach now? I said, no, but I'm called to preach. Listen, my pastor looks at me and says, okay, keep teaching the children and keep washing the toilets. Real story. Like, he wasn't even on preaching no more. He was like, keep doing the stuff that you're doing. Keep teaching and keep cleaning. Because I used to help clean up the church. 3 years later, I go to my pastor. God has called me to preach. It's stronger now. Now I can't sleep at night because I'm getting all these sermons. He was like, did God say come forth yet? I said, God did not tell me to come forth yet. I just want to confirm with you that I know I'm called to preach. He said, all right, keep working with the young people. Keep vacuuming the church. Every time I had this conversation with me, he turned it around for me to serve. He was encouraging me to keep serving. So it wasn't until I was 27 years old. I was still serving the church. I was ministering without a title. People would call me to preach their Women's Day or preach their Youth Day. I would never get in the pulpit because I didn't have a title. I was like, I can't get in y'all pulpit. They'll try to send me in the pulpit. I'm like, I got to sit in the first row. I don't have a title. I'm like, don't send me on the first row. I'm good. And finally, when I was 27, the Lord says, because of where I'm taking you, I have to put a title in front of your name. So at 27 is when I went through ordination and licensing.
Wow.
But I knew at 16, I knew Jesus was calling me to preach something. I knew it.
How was it? Was it challenging knowing that I have a gift, I have something on the inside of me that God is not, even though he isn't pushing me just yet to release it, but how did that make you feel, just knowing that God has called me to do something special?
It was scary. Yeah. I don't know who ever thought that preaching was easy or being in a limelight is the bomb. No, I know you're shaking your head because you agree. It is nerve-wracking. For me, I was so nervous saying, I know I'm called to preach, but at the same time, I kept thinking, I have to get up in front of people. And whenever you put yourself in front of individuals, they're going to critique you. Who wants to be critiqued every time they speak? Yeah. So that part, that was challenging, knowing that I'm called to preach, but now I have to go in front of people. I have to present this message, and I have to, have myself together to preach. Yeah. Also, the weight that comes with preaching was already heavy for me. There were some trials that I was going through, and I knew it was only connected to me being a preacher. There was a lot of backlash from the older saints back then. Well, she's too young, or she's trying to be like such and such. The comparison. I never wanted to compare myself to another preacher, but I would kind of hear that in my ear. So that was challenging. I always feel like who you're called to preach to or what you're called to preach about, God has to process you in that area. So there was a lot of brokenness that I had to go through because my ministry is ministering to broken people and ministering restoration and ministering the love of Jesus. So God had to take me through those things in my 20s so that I can be transparent and so that my message was a message that can connect with the audience that I was called to. So it's very challenging. Even until this day, preaching is not, we're easy. We're called to souls, and we're responsible for what we give them.
Girl, you ain't saying nothing but a word. Nothing but a word right there.
Yeah.
I was 7 when I apparently got up in front of the church, and I actually remember I was 7 years old and I got up in front of the church and I said, I want to be a preacher like my daddy.
Wow.
And it was a mother that was at our church, and she reminded me of that every single Sunday. That's my little preacher. That's my little preacher. Wow. Going off to college, and God started saying some stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that one.
Right.
I don't think that's for me, but it's almost like something you can't get away from.
No, you can't. You can't. You can't. And God made sure that he reminded me every 3 years. And I love how my pastor didn't just shoot me out there.
Yeah.
Because before you are a preacher, God has to make sure your heart is right. He has and he has to make sure that your motives are right. You're not preaching to be seen. You're not preaching to be known, but you're preaching to feed the people of God. I mean, that's what Jesus told to Peter. He said, feed my sheep. And that's the same assignment that any female or male preacher have. It is to feed the sheep of God. And so I'm so grateful that my pastor was making sure that my heart was to feed, not just to promote me. Absolutely. So grateful for that.
Absolutely. And like I said, making sure that you're serving.
Yeah.
What a lot of, even now, preachers that we just know, you're probably saying some words, but are you serving?
That's right.
Are you serving?
That's right.
Giving people what they need?
Exactly.
Just in talking to you, I know that part of who you're supposed to speak to is single women. You have a message and a word for single women.
Jesus, when you gonna do it for me, Lord?
But we appreciate it. I'm here to tell you.
I'm waiting, Jesus. I just need a tracking number, Lord.
Lord, now Lord, in the mail.
But yeah, single women, I definitely feel like I'm called to that area.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give another single woman chasing after God right now?
Oh my gosh, that is such a great question. What advice would I give you, single women, or us single women? Because I am single in this season. The first thing is, don't put things off. I would say waiting on a husband. Yeah. Some women are like, well, I'm not going to buy that type of clothing until I get married, or, I mean, that's just simple. Or I'm not going to save this amount of money, or I'm not going to learn this, or I'm not going to do this until I get married. Don't put it off. You know, one thing that God shared with me is, I don't want you, Sharnissa, to get married and then regret that you didn't do things in your single life. Blew my mind. I was like, what, God? It's like, Sharnissa, you don't know how many women get married and they feel like, man, I should have done this. I should have done this. It's like, I don't want you to live in regret. Get things out, do certain things so that when you do get married, that can kind of be out of your system. And godly things. I'm not talking about worldly things, but godly things. The second thing is, which is really important for women, for me, get yourself together. Get your stuff together. Work on your finances. Pay off some bills. Yeah. Go see the world so you don't feel like you're going to be stuck in a house. Work on, I posted something a while ago. The new confidence and walking in singleness until you get married is emotional stability and financial freedom. Get your emotions together. You know?
Right.
Get your emotions together. You know, if you have mommy daddy issues, get them together. Work on how you process things. Make sure you are emotionally stable and whole before you get married. I know some people think that's a cliche, but if you're walking around saying, I'm just sad and broken until I get a husband, girl, when you get a husband, you still gonna be sad and broken. Get all of that together. Allow God to work on that before you walk into marriage, or you'll walk into marriage and you'll be miserable and you'll make him miserable. Yeah. I believe that. I do believe that. One of the greatest thing for me is achieving goals. You know, get a checkoff list. Listen, Ashley, this is my book. Okay. You got one. I have see,
this is one of many. See? All my friends know I have piles of journals. They ride in the car. They everywhere. They sleep next to me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I hope this don't go over some women's head, but this is a true story. I wrote out my goals through 2045. I did. I haven't really released this because I'm gonna have to teach a class on this. I literally wrote out my goals through 2045 because I want to make sure that I am stable as a single. And I don't feel like I can't do certain things. I don't want to cripple myself. That's what I'm going to say. I don't want to cripple myself or disable myself because I'm not married yet. You know, I don't want to stop that. So I literally wrote out my goals. So when a husband come, I'm not going to be finding my identity. I already got that.
I already know my identity.
I already know my identity. I don't have to slide in and be like him. He don't have to come in and kind of say, well, she don't really know who she is. No, I know. I know who I am. And I know what I want to do in life because I have written those things down. I have made provision for myself. Me and Jesus, like, we got this thing going on. And so we're working it out. And then I know what I want to do in life. It's not going to be like, well, what you want to do? I don't know. Well, what you want to do in life? No, I know what I want to do in life. So when he come, if he know what he want to do, and I know what I want to do, listen, we can do some things together. Why you think Beyonce and Jay-Z so successful?
Listen, okay, powerhouse.
She knows what she wants to do. But honestly speaking, it is really know your identity. Set some goals for yourself. Don't just do a 1-year goal. Give yourself 5 years. When you reach a certain age, it's 10 years. When you reach another age, it's 20 years out. 20-year-old goals, my 20-year-old goals are not what my 40-year-old goals are. And I'm not 40 yet, but I'm sure knocking on the door. But you should have goals. And when you have them, you should be making progress to make sure that you crush them. Absolutely. Yep.
Whew. You have blessed me today. I am so grateful to share this platform with you. You have no idea. Oh my gosh. And I just have to say this, like, for those that have been watching Swag on Point TV and
come on, Swag.
This okay, because your swag is lit. But for those that have been watching, I've been doing a lot of different interviews. I found my niche with interviews, and so that I've interviewed thus far have been people that I've had relationships with. Like, I know them personally, whether it's childhood or college. But you are the first person that I've interviewed that I did not know personally.
Wow.
And I am just so grateful.
I'm grateful.
I am so grateful. Please tell the people what is next for you.
Oh my gosh. Jesus is always changing my life. But what I see so far, I actually live overseas. I actually live now in the richest country in the world called Qatar. So I am living overseas 9 months out of the year in a beautiful country. And then 3 months out of the year, I'm living in the United States. So I get to work virtually. And so overseas, I am definitely grinding in the area of education and leadership. But then when it comes to ministry, I'm working on my second Dear Single Sisters book. I'm so excited. It's called Dear Single Sisters, You Are Single Too. So it's the second book, but it's like we're still single. I'm working on that. I am so honored, and I'm gonna have to talk to you. I am having a Single Sisters retreat. It's just a 1-day retreat, and it's virtually. That is going to be in 2020. But believe it or not, my team and I have been working on a Dubai trip in 2021. So once the coronavirus and everything is done and gone and the Lord see fit, we have really been working on getting a group of women overseas and just having a good time. So definitely working on that, my team. I have a podcast, which is via YouTube. So everybody can just watch out for that because I have, like you, just different guests on. I have Ricky Dillard on, Kalante Gavin on. I have a few more people, LaShawn Pace will be on next week, and Avatar Gray, Pastor John Gray's wife. And so I just have different people in leadership or in people that are influential to come on to share. So just get ready for different podcasts with that. I'm really excited about that. And as what I do each and every day, I'm writing. I'm somewhere writing. I'm writing a book. My children's book this is my second children's book. That actually comes out in January 2021. It is more in the education field, discussing racism. And so I have a few characters. If you follow me on social media, you may see my little girls, Jodian and Sarah and Luciana. Those are actually former students of mine. Those are their names. Oh. And I name my characters little girls that have touched my heart, and a little boy named Ramon, which is actually my nephew. He's in my book. And my illustrator and I, we're just been working tirelessly to get this book. And it's some more in education that I can't release yet because I got to make sure it's signed, sealed before it's delivered. Yeah. So that's coming out in 2021, and it's for educational systems across the world.
That is.
Yeah.
So this is why you're on Swag on Point TV.
I love it.
Your swag is lit, my dear. Okay.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, you do stuff like this. It is not for the faint. It is not for the people that's not willing to be determined, because I'm like you. Some days I'm like, I'm gonna shoot this computer out the window. It can break. I don't care. I don't have to interview nobody. But then you like, nope, I'm called. I'm called to this. I'm inspired. I want to inspire people. People's story inspire me. You did ask me that earlier. Like, just talking to you, you are an inspiration to me. So I'm going to be contacting you to pull you on to my singles retreat. So get ready.
Oh, don't you worry. You send me the date.
I am. I'm going to get you. I want you to definitely do something. But that's what I'm working on. I'm working on everything that I do is always aligned to encouraging and empower women. And men now are telling me, don't be leaving the brothers out. I'm like, absolutely. I do women's ministry. They're like, well, you better work on something. Don't leave us out. So that's what I'm working on, to encourage and empower. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the mission for Holy Swag Ministries is to motivate and encourage a multi-generation of people. Yeah. Motivational speaking, consultation services, and stylish merchandise. So make sure you get your Holy Swag gear, okay?
Come on.
Coming in this episode. Real quick, Sharnissa, shout out your social media handles and where people can find you.
All right. I am on Facebook at Sharnissa Washington. Instagram, which is Sharnissa Washington. My team and I are working on our TikTok. Oh my gosh, I have something in the bag with TikTok. We're building it. It's gonna be funny but great. That's Sharnissa Washington, and YouTube Sharnissa Washington TV, and on Instagram I am Sharnissa.
Yes, ma'am, Sharnissa. Well, thank you for joining us for this wonderful episode. You are just amazing. We're gonna talk off the record about our singles retreat, because whatever I need to do to be there, I'm coming, okay?
It's virtual. I can't wait.
Swag on Point TV, everybody. Have a great day.
Yeah, be yourself, because being like everyone ain't where it's at. That's the reason why I stay in my bag. God got me, he been watching my back, and I'm letting them know it's a fact that I got that holy swag. Counting my blessings, giving me speed, and they giving me strength, and they giving me power to fight through the rain. And I'm thanking the Lord for the gift that he gave me. This is a lifestyle, I would never let nobody play me out of it. Like no other, really, they be wild, and I'ma let the blessings rain down. That's holy swag. Yeah, got that holy swag. Whoa, whoa, I got that holy swag. Yeah, I got that holy swag.